Talking. May I request everyone to please welcome our guest with a round of applause? May I request our guest to please join us on the dais? Respected Mr. Ravi Kant, former CEO and Vice Chairman Tata Motors, Mr. Prabhat Pani, Executive in Residence, SP Jain Institute of Management and Research, Professor Dr. Uday Salunke, Group Director V School, my colleagues and my dear students. On behalf of V School, it is my privilege to extend a warm welcome to all of you. Today's session is inspired by the philosophy of lead from the back, a leadership approach that emphasizes empowerment, collaboration, and humility. This concept is not just a theory, it is a proven practice that has shaped global businesses and leaders. With these words, I invite our very own group director, Professor Dr. Uday Salunke, to kindly come and share his remarks.
I don't know. Hi, good morning. Hello, good morning to all the students who are in Audi and in other classrooms. I believe even Bangalore is here. That's right. So Bangalore students also welcome. That's really nice. And Bangalore faculty colleagues who are there. Actually, I'm not supposed to be speaking on this moment. I'm also going to listen to Sir sitting in the auditorium. But I must mention to all the students and faculty colleagues, Sir's credentials are par excellence, and he's a global leader. We happen to interact at least on a couple of occasions along with my faculty colleagues, but I felt there's so much for me to learn. And leadership is always core of my heart to learn, and learning never ends. So I'm sure all of us are blessed to have Ravi Kantji here, and Prabhaji is also here. Prabhaji, thanks for your presence as well, and their entire team. In fact, as you all know, we have shared Sir's book to our Mumbai students and Bangalore students on Lead from Back. But this thought process is, frankly speaking, is very much for us to adopt as and when we grow up in terms of hierarchy. You all must have heard always, many of us speak about leading from the front and leading by the example. Yes, that is true. But lead from the back is a kind of thought process which let it come from Sir's side. Okay, but I'm sure, and later on, after 30 minutes of his address, we kept 30 minutes for Q&A from the students. So at that time, probably you can probably get clarification or ask your kind of questions with respect to leadership point of view. But sir, thank you very much for your gracious presence here. Thanks. Over to Sagaljeet.
Thank you, sir. We are truly honored to have with us Mr. Ravi Kant, former CEO and Vice Chairman Tata Motors, a visionary leader whose career spans across 5 decades, across various industries from consumer durables to automobiles. As CEO and Vice Chairman of Tata Motors, he led transformative initiatives, including global acquisitions like Jaguar Land Rover and Tata Daewoo, positioning Tata Motors as a global powerhouse. Under his leadership, iconic products such as Tata Ace and Nano redefined markets and became case studies in innovation. What truly sets him apart is his belief in leading from the back, a leadership style that empowers teams, fosters creativity, and achieves the impossible. Beyond business, Sir has made remarkable contributions to education and healthcare, serving on boards of premier institutions and supporting initiatives that impact lives globally. His journey reminds us that leadership is not just about profit, it's about purpose and responsibility. Today, Sir will share with us insights on leadership in the 21st century, a topic that holds exceptional relevance in a fast changing, interconnected world. May we welcome Sir.
Professor Salunke, and dear students and respected faculty members of this institute. I've had the privilege and honor to be actually come in contact with Professor Salunke only a few months ago. But I think some kind of very solid chemistry got built between him and I. And we decided to, because we thought alike, and we thought that we must work together to do something really interesting for the country. So all of you are either freshers or have few years of experience, and therefore there is a lot of life ahead of you. And you need to understand what kind of life you want to lead. And here I am wanting to talk to you that money is important. Nothing works without money. But I think values are even more important. And you need to take this into consideration, all of you. And country is also very important. So how do you combine all this country, values, money, all that, so that you are able to have a balanced career and a happy life? You must understand that leading a happy life is a very important thing, but it doesn't happen by itself. You need to work towards it. So if you look at the corporate world and the leadership in corporate world, we'll find, as Professor Salunke has mentioned earlier, is for last 200 years, it's been kind of leading from the front. 200 years because corporates came into being about 200, 250 years ago. You know why? How? Because of Industrial Revolution. You've heard of Industrial Revolution, all of you? So 18th century, coal, 19th century, electricity, that really gave an impetus to manufacturing. So therefore, what it did was it delinked the place of production from place of consumption. And when you delink, therefore, you needed to have large organizations. Earlier, you could do within a group of people. You needed large organizations. So when you have large organizations, you need a structure, you need an organization, you need a type of leadership. And the type of leadership they chose, which was very successful and prevalent at that point in time, was military leadership. That's all leading from the front. And it worked very well. It has been working very well for several thousand years. So having adopted that with good intentions, worked very well, as I said. So first 100 years, because Industrial Revolution happened in Europe and England, they led the way. Last 100 years, US, as you know, became the superpower, and therefore it dictated the contours of how it should be. So today what we see is basically an American-led view of leadership, and which is based mainly on certain things. But anything over a period of time begins to accumulate certain negatives. It starts with a lot of positives, but over a period of time, it starts gathering certain negatives. And I'll pick three with corporates. Because it's time in 21st century, we need to understand that very clearly. Number one is a single-minded focus on money. There's nothing beyond money, only money. And therefore, organizations are talking only about shareholder value. And individuals are talking about how can I become a millionaire, billionaire, and now we are talking about trillionaire, as you know. Now, as I said, this money is required. But when you have this kind of thing, then you are creating a lot of inequality in society. A lot of inequality. And inequality in society is not good because there'll be pressures and pulls, and that will destroy the society. In fact, recently you were talking about two Nobel laureates came. One of them was Professor Robinson, who won Nobel Prize for Economics. And what was his subject? His subject is that if you are only single-minded focused on money, you create inequality in society, and that cannot last. And I think he got Nobel Prize, what, about 15 years ago or something like that? Sorry, 24. But his work is, I think, 15 years old, yeah. So there's a lot of studies which are saying that it is not good. Number two is, in a pursuit for productivity increase and efficiency increase, and these are again very important things for growth, we have dehumanized human beings. Human beings have become some items, some innate things, some parts of machinery that I can dispose of anytime I want. So you'll hear, okay, somebody has been given, one organization given pink slips to 10,000 persons, 5,000 persons. It all looks very nice till you receive the pink slip. Then you realize, what does that mean? And no questions asked. You are coming to office till today, and tomorrow you get a pink slip. And nowadays the computers are there. In the evening, you will get on your thing, please don't come to office. Now imagine yourself in that situation. So what has happened is this is fracturing the society. And the pendulum has swung a lot to this side, and we need to correct it. You know, in nature abhors imbalance. So whenever there's imbalance, then something will get corrected. So I think now is the time it is to be corrected. There will, of course, be a lot of impetus to keep moving that side. A lot of things are happening in this field. We are forcing it to, but the world is actually moving to the other end. And third is over glorification of leadership itself. We have started thinking as if the leader is God. He has golden touch or she has golden touch and can never go wrong. And that has created a very negative thing. You know, I have been, as said, I've been in many companies. I've seen it all. I've held highest positions in the largest organization in this engineering organization in the country. But nothing could be further from the truth. To think that everything depends on that person is total bunkum. You take it from me. And whoever is saying I have done it is telling a lie. Because one person cannot do anything. You need to have support, you need to have collaboration, you need to have this thing. And therefore this over glorification has to move out. So these are in general, I'm saying, which is gathering momentum, and therefore there has to be a reaction and things to move out, and we need to reconsider. Coming to 21st century, which the corporates are facing, again, I would like to pick three things. Number one is the intensity of change, in the intensity of disruption, the intensity of, I would say, things moving fast has increased very substantially. Earlier, if in my time, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, if one major change had happened, maybe another one will happen after 7 years. Maybe another happened after. So you had time to adjust. In 21st century, things are happening so fast. You may have heard of a term called black swan. Have you heard of black swan? All of you? Have you heard of black swans? Huh? No. So let me define black swan and gray rhinos. Black swan is a thing which exists, but we don't know it exists till we find out. And black swan events can be very catastrophic. Gray rhino, on the other hand, is something you know it's coming to you, you see it. But actually, you're not able to do something about it. So today we are flooded with kind of black swans and gray rhinos happening, whether it is climate change, whether it is social changes, whether it is technological changes. We are in the midst of all this. So in this kind of situation, fast changing pace of things, a rigid hierarchical organization cannot sustain. And therefore, you need a more flexible, more adaptable, more kind of anticipatory, more reactive organization. So this command and control from top to this thing cannot sustain in today's world. People will still continue to do it, but it's a losing battle. That's all I can say. Number two is the explosion of information. Information exploding like nobody's business. Earlier also, information used to explode, but now it is coming like this. The curve is like this. What it means is, if I was to quote a very famous professor from MIT, Professor Ray Kurzweil, who's also senior advisor to Google and has written many books. His latest book is called Singularity. He's a futurist. So he said a few years ago that the rate of increase doubles every decade, the knowledge. So what it means in simple language is that a century of progress can be condensed in a month. A century of progress can be condensed in a month at that rate of progress. Now try to understand, imagine. A century of progress can be condensed in a month at then rate of progress. That was before ChatGPT and all that. Today, it could be in a week. Maybe day after tomorrow, it could be instantaneous. So you'll appreciate that it is not possible for one guy at the top to be having all this knowledge and trying to do things. It's not possible. So this bossman kind of thing that we have had, that one guy is the big guy, the boss guy, that has to go away. We need today distributed leadership. We need a large number of people who will suck information here, there, so because things are happening so fast. If we leave it to one guy to make the decision, it will be disaster, I can tell you, and it's happening. And you'll find, therefore, that large number of actually organizations, their life is shortening. If organizations were there for 60 years, 70 years earlier, now the lifespan is shortening. Along with that, lifespan of CEOs is shortening. Earlier, CEOs would be there for 20 years, 25 years, 15 years. Today, if a CEO is there for 5 years, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. Along with that, the tenure of people like you, even in mid managers, is shortening very badly. I can tell you that. If automation affected blue-collar workers, AI is going to impact very badly the white-collar workers. That's you people. It is coming with a major force. It's a gray rhino. It's a very, very big gray rhino. And if we don't change ourselves, we are going to be crushed. Because it's not impacted us, we are not understanding. But I have come across many people in India in advertising, in media, in bank, the mid-level person with 35 years, 45 years age group has just been squeezed out. The person was getting 35 to 40 lakhs regular salary, assured salary. Got a family, got one child or two children. Now imagine yourself in that situation. 12 to 15 years of service, suddenly you're out. Now you have to look for a job, but you don't get a job. So you have to go and do some moonlighting there, go in some part-time there, so you have to now work almost every day to earn your living. And you still won't get 35 lakhs. They are getting nearly half of that, 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs. But you already committed. You have committed to a house loan at that age, please understand. You have committed to a car loan. You have committed to you want to have your children study in good schools, which is expensive these days. You've got parents who need some medical treatment. So what the hell do you do at that point in time? It is a very, very serious thing which is happening. And I can tell you many people, I've come across many people in India. They don't know what to do. Some are fortunate because they've got double income. But it's still very, very heavy. Third point I want to talk about is actually your generation. And I was posed this question 120 times earlier, so I'm going to pose it now here also. Would you work in a command and control type of situation, organization? Answer. Say yes or no. जोर से बोलो. No. So if you are not going to work in a command and control type situation, how is that organization going to survive? I have asked this question where businessmen are there, their child is in early 20s. And I've asked this question to them, whether your child is going to join your business. They said very difficult because they don't want to work in this kind of situation. So to retain talent and to first get talent and retain them is going to be very tough. And therefore you need to be looking at something else. So, and I find that this generation is a very sharing and caring generation, unlike ours. They share a lot and they care a lot. They have a different mindset, totally different mindset. They are digital natives. Very strong opinions. And they want to do what they want to do. They have the freedom to do it and they have the opportunity to do it. And therefore, in this kind of situation, we need to be thinking of a certain other kind of leadership. The bossman leadership, the command and control leadership is not going to work. And therefore, we need to be looking at something else. And therefore, what we have done is, I've co-authored a book called Leading from the Back, to achieve the impossible, based on my 5 decades of experience. Leading from the back doesn't mean that you go back and relax. But leading from the back means that you empower other people. Distributed leadership, as I talked about. Give people opportunities. But as far as target is concerned, you are as tough as anybody else. That doesn't change. It consists of 3 simple parts. How should I be? How should I deal with the team? How should I take the task? And he has got three simple things. How should I be? Have an open mind, take ownership, and be detached. Then we come to team. The whole thing is about team. If you are able to build powerful teams, then things begin to happen in an organization. And for that, first is trust, build trust. And trust I called is consistent integrity. Every day, every minute of your life, even when somebody is not watching you, that integrity has to be there. You can't have integrity for 364 days in a year and take one day off. That doesn't work. Collaborate. In today's time, without collaboration, nothing happens. And leverage strengths. There's one thing we miss out. Everyone has strengths. Identify those strengths, place them appropriately, leverage the strength, and you can create a very powerful team. And you don't know the power of that team. Not that the team knows power. Till you come to the third point is how to deal with the task. So my philosophy is that don't be incrementalist. And today in India, you can't be incrementalist. You need to be thinking big. The country has to go far. And therefore, suspend your judgment on what you have today or what the past is. You should know, you should be aware of that. But suspend your judgment for some time and look at what opportunities could be there. So whether you are serving in an organization or you are doing your own business, please look at what are the opportunities. And when you look at opportunities, you begin to see the, oh my God, I didn't realize that, oh, there I can go there, I can go there, I can go here. So your desire becomes that, okay, I can go there. Now the question is, how do I go there? So look outside in. How to reach there? You can't do it by normal means. So you need to be thinking out of the box. You need to be creative. You need to be more adventurous. You need to be innovative. That's how you will reach there. And third point is be tough softly. You should not give up that goal, that vision. But as far as human beings are concerned, your colleagues are concerned, everybody, please treat them humanly, not like a piece of machine. So it's a very simple thing. So I have had, as I said, 120 interactions in India and overseas. And I found there's an overwhelming majority of people who are inclined towards it. And a large number of actually people are also practicing it across the world, including in the US. But we don't know about them. Because these guys are not interested in, as I said, glorifying themselves, but in creating leaderships, in running organizations, in creating successful products. It's not about them. It's about something else. So we decided that, okay, why don't we form a voluntary group? And therefore it's kind of a gathering of momentum. I'm glad to say Professor Uday Salunke is a very active member of that movement with us. So is Prabhat and many other very, very distinguished persons. So what we are seeing is that if one person was able to live this and over a period of time, different experiences, was able to get big, big things, can we replicate it? And my interaction so far has said to people, oh, yes, it can be done. So we are now trying to embed it in organizations. We've got 2 Tata companies, we've got this thing, we've got university, we've got Wellinger here, we've got NGOs, so some variety of, and we're trying to embed it. And we are giving number of tools, how to do self-assessment, how to do this, how to have maturity model, how to have make a chatbot. Chatbot is being made by a person young person, 23 years old, who just passed out of an engineering college. He's making a chatbot. Fantastic guy. We are making an app. We are doing this thing. There are many things. We are looking at also how to develop own personal maturity, how to have detached mind, how to have this thing, how to have this thing. So we are talking to some people. And I believe that what we are offering is unique in the world. Unique in the world. And if we were, and therefore what it's doing is, instead of thinking in a normal manner, okay, I'll get 5% growth next year and year. When you begin to think like that, you begin to think that, oh, I can reach there. And when you compare that with where you are, you find it's 50% more or 100% more or even 200% more or 300% more. So we are saying, okay, can we replicate it? And can we make people think of not 5%, but 50% growth? And can we have, say, a few thousand companies or organizations thinking that way and get in 3 years or 4 years' time? Can you imagine what it will do to the country? What it will do to the country? That's what I'm saying. And what it will do to the organizations. And what it will do to the persons who are involved in those organizations who are doing it. Can you imagine the confidence, this thing that we are able to do? We keep talking about, oh, China mein wahan unki government aisi hai, so it's possible to do it. No. Government is there, please understand. But the initiative of people in China is outstanding, I can tell you that. We don't go anywhere close to that. Each individual's energy, each individual's ambition. So what one is trying to say is, can we imbibe that in our nice democratic system? Can we imbibe that and think not of 5%, but 50% and make it happen? And the only way we can make it happen is if we are able to build teams, strong teams. And the teams can be built on one main thing, and that is called trust. Trust is the most valuable commodity in the world today, because a lot of fake news is coming, a lot of other things are coming. Now, chatbot is, or AI is going to give us a lot of benefit, but please understand, it's also going to give us a lot of lies and untruths, because it depends on what is being fed there. And therefore, to sift truth from untruth is going to be very tough. It's already happening. And therefore, that is going to be a very, very valuable commodity. So, building on values, building on this thing, you can change the face of this country. They said, while money is important, but you should have something beyond money too in your mind. And that's how you can change yourself. You can feel proud to be yourself, that you have done something. You can change the country. And that's where I would like to now finish. And if there are any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Yes, the floor is open for questions.
Hello. My request, I believe our Bangalore team, all the students are there from Bangalore campus. Bangalore faculty is also there, but we'll go ahead with the students from Bangalore campus to begin with. And in the meantime, probably other students who are not in the Audi can be given a chance, definitely. We also have St. John students on YouTube, but that is not two-way. But doesn't matter, I'm sure in future we'll have that opportunity. So Bangalore students, Madhvi, I believe the faculties must be there. Someone there with the students?
Yes, sir, they are available. Any questions from D4, D5, or D3? I think you
Am I
people can
audible,
walk up to the
Madhvi?
mic. Yes, sir, very much, very much.
Yeah. I believe you are on
Yeah.
mute. But students can initiate if it is possible. In the meantime, even
Students
Audi
from
students can
D3,
be
D4,
ready.
or
But go ahead with the other classrooms. Maybe we can. Yeah, I believe Bangalore, someone has come forward.
Hello.
Just mention your name and go ahead.
Hello, I'm Ashish. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Sir, you had mentioned there's a change in leadership style. I've read that there are two types of managers, and there are instances in companies where the same manager, which is good in dealing with the company in peaceful situations, is not good when there's like a lot of chaos or catastrophic changes. So I just want to get your opinion on how in this changing generation, you had mentioned that the younger people are more of a sharing kind of caring side of mindset. So I wanted to see what you think will happen when this transition happens, when the young people go into management roles.
So if you don't work as a team, if you won't work collectively, it will be difficult for you to progress. And you can't stand still in life. If you stand still, then you'll be knocked off, because there are a lot of changes which are happening, and it is important for us to look at things in a collective manner and not as one individual boss kind of thing. And as I said earlier, that everybody's got strength, and therefore, if we collaborate properly with our strengths, you can make a very powerful machine, and that machine can go on to do impossible tasks. So it doesn't matter whether you are in down market, you're up market, you are entering a market, you're doing this thing, whether it's startup or things like that. It doesn't matter. It is applicable everywhere. I have gone through it in different situations. I am seeing other people going through in different situations, and it works. So this is something which I would like you to think of it and experiment it if you think this is something I should be careful about. So experiment it, see, get confidence whether it works or doesn't work, and then move forward. So my advice would be really that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Maybe Ashish will go to the other classrooms, whoever is there in the other classrooms. I can see, yeah, please, go ahead. Yes.
So, first of all, I would like to thank Ravikant sir for the valuable insights which he gave about the book, and also the different types of management techniques which he has experienced all over his life. My question to him would be regarding his book, because I had read the book leading from the back, as a sir is a former manager director of Tata Motors, and I also been connected with Tata Motors in the past. So I had got the insight from that book that always in a corporate setting, it is important to lead from front as well as from the back. But if you see globally, and if you take as India as a whole country, we always need to be at the front. And so what are the factors in a corporate setting and in this 21st century which inspire us to lead from back?
What's your good name?
Sir, my name is Shivraj Borade.
Yes, Shivraj, thank you.
And
Sir.
I'm pursuing e-business.
Okay, thank you.
So Shivraj, if you were to see, as I said, it is very difficult to be an autocratic person. Earlier, you could be autocratic and run things, but today it's very difficult to be autocratic and run a company or organization successfully. So you got to adjust. You got to adjust. So if the organization doesn't adjust, then our organization will have a problem. We are already beginning to see that organizations are having problems and they don't know what to do. They're totally nonplussed because they don't even know what's going to hit them a year from now. While they are trying to adjust to something which is happening, suddenly something else happens. They are not able to adjust. And therefore, if they continue to think the way they have been thinking, it will be very difficult for the organization to progress. And in fact, we need to rely a lot more on youngsters because youngsters are born in that age. The digital thing, is like fish to water. Older people will take a long time to unlearn or relearn things, but they are born with that. And therefore, what somebody else can do in a long period of time, they can do it in a short period of time. And therefore, we need to give opportunity to younger people. And we should not feel that, okay, we have got 25 years experience and therefore we know the best. That is something which has to be taken out of the mind. And therefore, if it's a more collaborative, collective thing, regardless of what the ranks are, I think you can make organization very strong. Many times people have asked me that when we start an organization, should we lead from the front and then carry on, then change to lead from the back? And to that, my answer has been, you start with lead from the back. Because once you have got used to leading from the front, it becomes very difficult for you to change your habits. So I give an example of a startup company I was associated with when it was a startup, a company called Titan. Have you heard of Titan?
Sure.
Yes. You know the products? What do they make? Watches and
Sunglass.
jewelry, the glasses and things like that. So we heard of the company, we heard of this. Do we know about the leaders in Titan? Who are the leaders? Does anyone know? So we don't know. Now the fourth successor has been announced, but we don't know who are the leaders. That's leading from the back. It's not about yourself. It's not about over-glorifying yourself. It's about doing things which are required to be done. So right from the first managing director to the second one is successor, to third one and fourth one now. We don't know the leaders. It's a very successful company. It's the most valuable consumer wear company in the country. You are aware of that? In Tata Group, it is actually, it's pipped Tata Motors also sometimes to become the second most valuable company in the group. But it was a startup when I joined. So I'm saying it's a question of mindset, how kind of mindset we have and do it. But it's like if you want to be honest, you have to decide that you want to be honest, you don't want to be honest. But once you've decided, then you got to live to it. You will face many challenges, you will have many problems, you will have this. If you want to take a shortcut, you can't be honest. Similarly, if you want to lead from the back, you want to give people opportunities, you can't do this. There'll be challenges, there'll be problems. But that doesn't mean you'll start micromanaging it. Once you start micromanaging it, then it's very difficult to leave. Very difficult to leave. And I can tell you many persons who have read the book who are doing exactly that. And they say, sir, I have now stopped. It's such a great relief. It's such a happy situation. I'm able to concentrate on something in future. And people are very happy because they have been given freedom, they have got responsibility, and they are doing much more, much better than when I was trying to do it. Many persons have come and told me this. So there is a value, there is a strength in the idea that one is talking about. And therefore, my appeal will be to don't be misled by something. Try it out. Because in fast changing things, the most valuable thing after trust is going to be your ability to adapt, ability to anticipate, ability to change. And that can only happen that if you keep an open mind and are able to see things properly and do it and depend on a lot of people. So my, again, appeal or advice would be that don't go by only by this thing. You look at other options and then you see whether this option you can work out or not work out. If you think you cannot work out, you are free to do what you have thought earlier.
Thank you. Shivraj. Probably, I think we will go to the other classrooms. Thank you, Shivraj Borade. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
My name is Tushti and I am from RBA 2. I had a question regarding, can you describe an unpopular decision you had to make as a leader and how you communicated it and gained acceptance from your team?
What's your name?
My name is
Sorry, come back again.
Tushti.
Srushti.
So Srushti, I started by saying first you have to create trust. You see, you cannot just come in cold and say, I have an unpopular decision to make. So first, if you have created trust, what does trust mean? I said consistent integrity. It should be so, it should become such a part of you that you must become very predictable. That everybody should know that if this problem comes to this person, this is going to be the answer. That I call is trust. That I call is psychological. By that, you create psychological safety. So once you have done that, then you have to understand that decision that you are going to be taking. One is you will be thinking about a tough call, tough decision, but it need not be unpopular. So I'm making a distinction between tough decision and unpopular decision. So you will have to take tough decisions, but doesn't mean that it has to be unpopular. So if you have got trust of your people, then people will say, yeah, this decision is a tough decision, but if I was in his position or her position, I would have taken the same decision. Then people begin to understand. I'll give you an example. So Tata Motors 20 years ago, we went through economic cycles. We were going down. Economy was going down. Tata Motors was mainly truck business, which is very close linkage with the economy. So if economy went down, our sales went down. And it went down. But we protected our market share. As a result, we made huge losses. First time, Tata Motors made a loss, and it was the largest loss in corporate history till that point in time, 500 crores. Then we said, okay, we need to do something because we said, we are in a cyclical business. So earlier we thought it will continue to grow like that, which is very fallacious thinking. So we are in a cyclical business, so which has gone down, it will come up. In a few years' time, but it will go down again. And therefore, what should you do? That means then your break-even point must be reduced. So that even if the sales go down by 40%, you still make money. Not so much, but still make money. And therefore, you need to think very differently. Once you thought that, then you say, we need to have, as far as costs are concerned, so we talk to workers. We needed to part with a large number of people. And Tatas were known for lifelong employment. So it's a paradox. It's a very tough decision. It could be a very unpopular decision that you are wanting to take out this thing. But that tough decision company took in such a way that it was a tough decision, but it was not an unpopular decision. So what did it do? Company took 3 months. And at that point in time, a lot of things were hitting the newspapers. Oh, this company has shed off 700 person, this is 500 person, this is 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, like that. So we took 3 months almost. So we made a whole plan. We had communication and communication and communication in town hall meetings, in small group meetings, large group meetings, one-on-one meetings, meetings after meetings after meetings after meetings. We all, the entire leadership, every across the company spent, I would say, more than 40% of the time only communicating, telling people that we are in a cyclical business. And if we want to protect the whole organization for a long time to come, we have to do something. And that something means we need to we have to reduce costs. And that's how many other things started at that point in time. Lot of strategies were laid down. And therefore, we offered to, say, workers at that point in time, look, we are in tough call. So as far as temporary people are concerned, they may have to go out. But as far as permanent people are concerned, you need to take a cut in your salary for a few months or several months. Say, I think I forget what it was, 20% cut. And you won't get the bonus, annual bonus. And when good times come, we will come back to you. Because we had already had this thing of trust with them, they trusted what we were saying. If we did not have a trust, they would not have said, they'll say, why should I believe you? But because we had an environment of trust in the past and we had this thing of relationship of trust, they said, okay, sir, we will do that. And therefore, a tough decision was taken, but it did not turn out to be an unpopular decision. So I'm making a distinction between tough call and unpopular call. So you can make tough calls, but it need not be unpopular. So that's what I'm saying. You need to think of people as human beings, not think of as piece of machine, like they do it in the US or elsewhere. So that's why I'm saying we are in India. We need to think of human beings as human beings and treat them with respect and I would say with respect. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Srishti. Maybe we'll go to brainstorm and then finally we'll come here. Brainstorm, anyone? And even here, you can keep the mics ready. I think whoever wants to ask the question, volunteers will pass on the mics. So just keep the mic with you. But brainstorm, is there anyone? Okay, just 1 minute, 1 minute. Hold on. I think people who are face to face will give them a opportunity a bit late. Yeah, brainstorm, please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
So good afternoon, sir. My name is Yash. So as you mentioned that we have to build trust among teams and collaborate with them. So is empathetic and collaborative leadership really necessity in today's data-driven decision making?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yes, just repeat the question. Go slow.
Yeah. So is empathetic and collaborative leadership is really a necessity in today's data-driven decision making?
Absolutely. In fact, it is even more of a thing. Because if you are depending only on data, then you don't know how much data of that is correct. And therefore, you need to have people to sift the data and you need people to think about that data. So please don't go by this thing because I've got data, human beings are not going to be required. It's my personal belief, and a lot of studies are being done, that human beings' intuitiveness and intelligence is going to be even more important when we have this kind of thing. And therefore, it's not a single-minded thing, but you need to have a good balance of, as they call it, man and machine thinking. So yes, there are many things machine can do, many things AI can do, but still human beings will be required to take decision, to sift through this, and to take more and more, I would say, better decisions.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Yash. We will come to Audi. I believe the gentleman who was standing here, please.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Aishwarya. So
Yeah,
my
Aishwarya.
question is,
Hold the mic close.
so what inspired you to believe in the idea that leading from the back is important?
Well, nothing inspired me, and I didn't know it was leading to the back. I was naturally doing in my own intuitive manner for 50 years. Till about 4 years ago, when I asked somebody that, how do you describe my way of working? And he said, you lead from the back. Before that, I didn't know it's called lead from the back. So I was doing it in a natural, intuitive manner. And that's why I'm saying a lot of hundreds of people or thousands of people are actually doing it that way. Whether from Japan, China, you take Europe, you take India, of course, US, you take everywhere you take, people, a lot of people are actually doing it. So it's not inspiration as such that I am leading from the back. There's no such thing as that. But over a period of time, you are born in a certain family, you then go to a certain school, you come to a certain college, you experience with people in organizations. So you observe and absorb. You continue to observe and absorb all the time, as Professor Uday said. Life is it's a lifelong learning thing. So you continue to absorb, and see, make yourself a better human being and better decision maker. So it is not something I started, oh, this is my aim, this is what's going to happen. No, nothing like that. It's only now, 4 years ago, I discovered it's called leading from the back. And therefore, I said, why don't we convert it to a kind of a structure so that other people can understand it better, other people can adopt it better, and we are giving tools for people to understand it and adapt it better. That's what we are trying to do. So it's not kind of just open intuitiveness, but you use intuitiveness, but give them a certain characteristics. So certain boxes you can just go, bolte hain, you hang your coat on, you hang your shirt on, you hang your this on. So that way you are able to therefore do it in a better way. And you don't have to do it in a free way, but you can do it in a more structured manner. And therefore it is repeatable. That's what one is trying to say. It is repeatable, and therefore it can be replicated by a large number of people. And that's the beginning we are trying out with as a pilot. We'll learn a lot of things from this pilot. Some things will work, some things will not work. And then we'll keep improving, and we'll see if we can create, therefore, certain kind of thing, a property, where people begin to follow and begin to get the same result. So it's kind of an input output. You put this kind of input, you get this kind of. If become more predictable on that, I think it will be damn good thing. And coming out from India, I think it will be a fantastic thing. So we are now will be creating something which is, although it's being used everywhere, but it's creating something from India, which I think will be a great thing, and we can all be proud that this has happened. And many of these things come naturally to us. I mean, detachment and all that thing, which I talked about. Many people have said, कि सर आप गीता की बात कर रहे हैं क्या? हमने कहा नहीं, मैं गीता की बात नहीं कर रहा, but detachment की बात कर रहा हूँ. So people are able to join the dots and in their own manner and see, okay, this is what it is.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. I believe the lady is holding the mic here. Please go ahead.
Very good afternoon, sir. My name is Avnish, and my question to you would be, if there's any message you could share with the future leaders, so what could it be?
I've already talked about for last half an hour. That's
Yes,
the message.
sir. But there's
That's the
one
message. That's the message I'm giving. So don't try to be autocratic. Don't try to command and control. Don't try to be a boss man. So you do things in a more compassionate manner. But as I said, you have to take tough calls, but do it in a compassionate manner. Think of the opportunities. If I was to say two things, think of the opportunities, number one, and think of how those opportunities can be converted into reality. That's only through building powerful teams. If you were to just remember these two things, think of opportunity, which can only happen if you have open mind and all that. And how you convert into practice is by creating powerful teams. If you were to just remember these two things, I think that's good enough.
I'm sure Sir's book copy is going to be given to all the students in Mumbai and Bangalore campus as well. After you go through the book, it's a nice book and which you can finish in just a couple of maybe a day or two or even one sitting as well. And post that, my request would be get into application mode. Are you getting my point? Lead from the back, and I'm sure you will find probably it's a wonderful experience. Okay.
So now it's available in Hindi. It's available. It's going to be launched in Gujarati. It's available in Hindi. This month is going to be launched in Marathi. Next week, in fact, in Marathi in Pune and in Telugu.
Yeah. Any other question here? Yeah, please go ahead. That maybe 2 hands, but is it okay if we extend by 5-10 minutes more?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because Bangalore, I believe there are again a question. So Bangalore student can be also ready. We'll take 1 or 2 questions here from Audi. Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Tejasvi Pednekar and I'm from EBIS Batch 1. So while understanding the leading from the back philosophy, I wanted to know how can a leader make sure that their quiet leadership is still seen and respected?
Can you repeat the second part of your question?
Sir, I wanted to know how can a leader, while following quiet leadership, make sure that the leadership is still seen and respected?
So I said build trust. Now let me explain what is trust. Because trust doesn't get built because you are saying you trust me, but it's built through your behavior. So as I mentioned earlier, trust I call consistent integrity. Means you need to be honest, you need to be transparent, you need to be ethical, you need to have integrity, you need to be fair, you need to be equitable, all that. Day in and day out, day in and day out. So over a period of time, people begin to see who you are. People begin to see that you don't have any personal agenda, but you are talking about the organization. Therefore, it takes time. So through your behavior, people will start converting to this and people will begin to start trusting you. You need to start by trusting everybody. It doesn't mean that people will reciprocate that trust to you immediately. No, it doesn't happen in life. In Tata Motors, very few, very important people, it took me nearly a year and a half to get that trust. But even if I'm this level, and the persons in another discipline is here or here or here, I know that unless I have his collaboration or her collaboration, I cannot succeed. Therefore, I took the effort to go and talk to them, and talk to them, and talk to them, till they began to say, okay, this guy doesn't have an agenda. And mind you, I'm an outsider. When I joined Tata Motors, I had no experience of four-wheelers. That, in fact, is true for all my companies. But I went alone. If I had gone with a few of my people, then people have what the signal I would have given, that I don't trust you people. Therefore, I've got my trusted team. So I went alone. And I started doing this kind of thing, and people started then seeing this. Over a period of time, people started trusting. At that point in time, if you do something, then it is taken in a very different light than compared to a normal organization where you don't know he's saying something else is in mind and things like that. So once you do that, then you begin to get people on the whole, I must tell you, are good. 99% people are good. It's the same people who are being castigated for a bad performance of the company. How is it the same people, 2 years, I talked about 500 crore loss. In 2 years, Tata Motors made 500 crore profit. How did it happen? It's the same people. People have not changed. People have not changed. So I believe that there's nothing wrong with people. But you need to win their trust. You need to get them with you, and you need to then work together. And everybody should start feeling as if it's his or her own company. See, once you start believing that, then it becomes no more a target. It becomes a mission. It becomes a passion. It becomes a mission with a passion. Once you have that kind of situation in a company, then all these things, become totally irrelevant. And you could, as I said, you can do anything. So whether it is Tata Motors or before that in Philips or in Vespa scooters or Titan watches or earlier Hawkins or anywhere else, you'll find that it is a very powerful thing, but we are afraid to understand and second to use it. We think, oh, somebody can misuse, somebody can do this. I'm saying, yes, things can happen, but it doesn't mean for one single bad egg, a bad fish, you kind of blame everybody else. That is a very fallacious kind of thing, because all rules and regulations are made to catch that one person in 10,000 persons. So I'm saying we don't need rules and regulations. We don't need needs and regulations. The system itself should point out if there are some bad people. So either the bad person himself will get out, or the bad person will be found out, and then you can deal with it appropriately. So it's a very, very powerful thing which can move mountains. Let me put it that way.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Tejaswini. Probably we can discuss internally in a smaller group. Yeah, I believe last question from the audience. Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am. And then we'll go to Bangalore.
Yes.
Hold on. I think we are connecting with the audience first. Yeah, please go ahead, ma'am.
Hello, sir. My name is Anviti Kulsresht. I am from the healthcare batch. So I had the privilege of meeting you the last time you visited, learning about your book. So my question to you is, how can aspiring leaders like us, how can we be visionary and yet be realistic?
I just talked about it. Both visionary and realistic.
But
So
sir,
think of a big thing.
But so there are people who are always, giving you a reality check and then trying to pull you down, saying this doesn't work.
Yeah, life is full of such people. But once you have decided you are going to go this path, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But it is for you to decide where you want to go. See, that inner resolve is to be developed by you. Nobody else can do it for you. But once you've said, I want to go to Mount Everest. You have to decide whether you want to go to Mount Everest or not. Once you've decided you want to go to Mount Everest, then rest of things are easy, because you have to do this, 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 you have to do this. And then you continue to do it. Maybe you will not succeed first time, maybe second time, third time, fourth. But if you keep at it, you will succeed. So it is true in all walks of life. Even in just now, this women's cricket happened. We are all very proud. Now look at the life stories of each of the players. Absolutely, but they had a dream. They wanted to do. It's 100 kilometers, 70 kilometers, they can play cricket. But they had the determination. They said, no, mujhko karna hai. And many of them have gone through failures. Many were not selected earlier. They were pushed out, this thing, that thing, so many things. In spite of that, they kept to it. They kept to it. I think there's a huge lesson to be learned from just this. So similarly in life, any one of you can do the same thing. Please understand, there's nothing special about it. Any of you become determined, but internally you have to tell yourself that I have to do this, period. I'm not going to leave it. Come what may, whatever challenges appear, I am going to have this, period. Once you get that in your mind, then you will make it happen. That's all I can say. Don't worry about what people say. ग्राउंड रियलिटी ये है वो, अगर उसमें आप चलोगे तो फिर आप कुछ कर नहीं सकते. So all I'm saying is it must be an inner resolve for anybody to reach that kind of thing. Don't worry about what people say. People will continue to say what they want to say, but you should not get deterred by that. So as I said, the women's team is a great example. Each individual player and the team effort. So how, as you know that before they came to semi-final, they were down in the dumps. And then somebody said, no, you can do it. And they all got together and they felt, no, they could do it. And they did it. So all one is trying to say is you must look at the opportunity. You must determine in your inner resolve कि हमें तो लेना ही है, period. हमें तो लेना है, चलना. But I have to go in an ethical manner. No shortcuts. I have to go this way and I'll follow this. And maybe I will not succeed first time, maybe I'll not succeed second time, maybe I'll not succeed fourth time, but each failure is a learning. Please understand that. Each time you fail, because in life, nobody will have a life which is continuously succeeding. No, you will have many failures. Failures are not bad, but you must learn from the failure. And that is what is big thing about failures, is that it gives you lessons of what not to do. And then you carry on, and then carry on, and then carry on. And then one day you'll find that, okay, you have done something which you can be proud of. Thank you.
In fact, from women's team, our men's team yesterday learned and they defended 167 score against Australia. You must have seen.
Yeah.
Bararna, men's team, absolutely. But thanks for this question. Yeah, final question will go to Bangalore campus. Bangalore. Yes.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Kedar Bhatt, and I'm representing PGT batch at V School Bangalore. So my question for you is, as decision making is one of the most important traits in a leader, and in your philosophy of
Decision making is one of the,
and your philosophy of leading from the back. Now, do you see AI influencing the way leaders make their decisions, especially when balancing human intuition with data-driven insights?
Yeah, of course. Of course. And decision making is today is not a single person's domain. It's a collective decision making. Because I have some information, he may have some information, she may have some information. When you all put it together, then a collective mind and decision making is what we should be doing. And second thing I must say, that you can change your mind. And you should feel free to change your mind. Because you have taken a certain decision based on certain inputs. If the nature of inputs change, you should feel yourself free to change your mind. It doesn't mean that you are indecisive. No. So many times we confuse indecisiveness with this. No. I've been doing it all my life. Because I don't come to any conclusion. First, I talk to my group of people. भाई तुम्हारा क्या बोलो. Decision उसी में से निकलता है. So if I am prescriptive, I can say, oh, I've decided now this should be done. So I don't follow that route. I first talk to whatever 10, 12 persons. I listen to them. And you find that, oh, you had not thought of this. Somebody said, oh, you had not thought. Then you put it all together. And then you arrive at a decision, which can be I would say, more correct decision. It can still fail, but still it's a better decision than what you may have come up with alone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kedar from Bangalore. Bangalore faculty colleagues, St. John's and V School students. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir, for addressing the queries of the students. May I request the audience to be seated till the dignitaries exit the auditorium? We have a few announcements to make.
This call the LFB team. LFB team, whoever is here, please join for the group photo with sir. Prabhat ji, आप भी आइए, please. हाँ, book के साथ में, that's right. No, that's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, team. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. मैंने चश्मे नहीं करना। Okay, students, attendance will be taken shortly, so please be seated where you are. Book distribution for the students seated in the auditorium will happen outside the auditorium right now. For the students seated in the other classrooms, the book can be collected from the extended library that's on the ground floor between 2:30 to 5. Yes? Thank you.